Hey guys, welcome back to Joe's RC Corner, and today we are back out at the hangar working on the Cricket. So stay tuned guys. After the intro, I will show you what we're going to work on a little bit today. All right, guys, so like I said, we're back out here at the airport working on the Cricket, and we're going to continue working on some wiring today because we do need to get that done. That has been it's been the biggest thing slowing me down. And so what we're going to do today is we're going to take some time. We're going to take a look at the videos from Jan on how to wire that engine up. I know I've done it before, but been a little while, so I got to remind myself how it's all working and how that's gonna work. We're gonna get set up here with light and everything so I can see what I'm doing in here because it is a little dark. Have the door closed because it is a little bit windy out there and it is cool. So we're gonna work on this. We're gonna get some of this finished and routed. I'm going to get to the back. I need to write down exactly what needs to come from behind that panel area back there, and then route those wires forward, and then tag it up with the power here and bring that up and around down along the side there. So we're going to work on some of that routing and figuring out what wires I need to come from back there and get that all taken care of. So as of right now, what I do know I need to bring from back there is the flap servo power leads. I'm going to put a grounding block back there for everything that's back there. I already have my fuel header sensor and the fuel pump wires already routed up, but the grounds are just to the frame. And I'm going to route that to a grounding block mounted back there. And then that grounding block is just going to go straight to the negative of the battery. So that will take care of that. Then that negative also will need to come back up forward to a grounding block up here, which will then ground to the engine and the airframe. So that will take care of all of the grounds at that point. And then the negative or the positive sides will go to the power block up here, right up here, through this side, of course, the pass-through. And then from that pass-through, I'm gonna go to a power block here, and then we'll get that all kind of situated and figured out. And then we're going to label each one. So one of these is going to be just for engine components. The other will be for everything else. So it'll come out of that to the 30 amp breaker, and then from there out to everything. So we do have a plan. I just have to remember how the engine part of that power all works out, and then we'll get that taken care of. Maybe we can pop that engine and get it running again. So that's the plan, guys. We're going to get to work. I'll show you what we got done after this. Okay, guys, so welcome back. And we got a lot done, actually, with the wiring. Still haven't connected anything to the batteries back up to the front yet because I'm waiting until I get all of this all taken care of. And then I have some stuff I got to bring wired through this area to get up to the front. So most things are already here. So like the wing, this is all of the wing bundle for sensors and power to lights and et cetera, et cetera. I have the same bundle over there. But then we also have this bundle right here, which has some but not all. So I need to take a look at how that's all being pulled through. I may just run new wire, connect it to this, and then pull it through to have enough for my flap servo, the fuel senders, the fuel pumps, and all that fun stuff, and get that all taken care of. So I know this is kind of a mess, but I do have a little bit of cleaning up, and I do have a bit of a system going on here with this. And I'm actually much happier with how some of these are just popped in from the other side here that are just flipped over the top. This is much cleaner than what it was. I do have some service loops here that will get bundled together using some wax string. This is a jumper to make sure that all of my avionics are on the same contactor now instead of that circuit breaker switch. I'm going to take that out and put a switch in there that's going to work this contactor, and this is going to be my avionics contactor. And then I have the two battery contactors down here. So these two will go to the main power source here, which is going to this, which is the engine block. And then I have it power coming out of here to a 30 amp breaker, and then back to this bar, which is my everything else. And then this power will go to my avionics, because I want to be able to shut this off if I hit the switch to the main batteries. If I shut those off, this will go off. That way, in case I forget this switch on, it's not going to drain my battery. It'll shut all of it off. These will shut everything off. So this will now come over across the top here, from here to this battery port on this side, which is on the 30 amp breaker. So this will be my avionics. So if the power, this is completely segregated, and then everything then will be powered off of that bar here for the avionics, which includes my, the EFIS and, anything that has to do with avionics, EFIS, the ARINC, the 175, comms and transponder. Everything else is all just going out and over to here for the power side, and all of my switches are going to be on the negative sides. And all of my switches will be coming off of this for like my lights and so on, and then everything else as well. So I have a system now. I have a way of keeping these bundled, and these will also then be wax tied, string tied together as a wire, as a power harness. Everything's going to my engine block. I do have my tach with the resistor in there, and that goes to the power side. So when I connect my tach from over here from the engine ECU, I'll have the correct RPM showing on the system. And then what we'll be working on, we'll finish this up all tomorrow. And then we need to start working on all of this stuff, which everything is really just go to a terminal and terminate it at a terminal block. So I have 3 more terminal blocks here for the avionics systems to all talk to each other. And that's how we're going to be doing that. I want to try to make this as easy as possible to service later. This is also much cleaner than it used to be. I'm really happy with how this is coming out so far. We're just going to keep moving one wire at a time and measure them out. And then at the end, we'll bundle all this together. I did get my switch for my heater installed. I will have to make a label. I may talk to Jamie about that. About getting a label for that one, and then we'll wire this to that per the instructions from Jan and Alyssa on the Viking engine setup. So I do need to review which ports go to what on here regarding ECU and so on and so on. I believe I have it written down somewhere. I just need to go find it, and then we'll get that all taken care of. We do still have to remount my transponder and comms radio. We will get that reinstalled and wired. We do need to take a look at the wire and harness for that still. It's not very clean, so those two comm radio, it's wired, but I want to clean this up a little bit, and we'll get that nicely laid out. So this would be going to the head unit right here. This goes to the back of the comm radio, and then I need to redo the wires that are coming out for the headsets. So we'll take a look at that one. We do still have the ERINCs right here, which we may need to extend wires on, but we'll take a look at that. So this one goes to the EFIS from the ARINC. This one goes to the Garmin 175. So I just need to remember which pins are what. I do have them all labeled right here. Same with the transponder. This one here, we'll just get those wired and bundled again, similar to what we did on the other ones. And then we'll get this all taken care of. So we're moving along, guys. We're at least making headway. The last other unit that wasn't in there before that I need to get wired in place is going to be the autopilot and the trim. So, and that's already installed. We just need to get it wired. Okay, so that's it for today. It's getting late. It's starting to, looks like it's going to rain here in the desert, which is pretty weird. Yeah, so that's it for today. We're going to cover this all up here for tonight. But yeah, we'll be back out here on Sunday to try to finish up a little bit more of that wiring and maybe start looking at the avionics and maybe also start working on pulling the wires from the rear and getting those kind of laid out and set up to be plugged in as well. Hey guys, welcome to the next day, and today we're back out here on the Cricket. We're going to continue that wiring job, so stay tuned and I'll show you what we're going to try to get done today. All right guys, so one of the things that we need to work on today is this wire, which has been there for a while. It goes to the starter. It's a little bit too tight for my liking, so we're going to go ahead and replace this because I did not have any service loop or slack. So we're going to rerun that and continue from this point and continue working along back in here. I ordered a few more of these terminal blocks. I might add another one right here just so we have enough blocks here for everything. I did start wiring in the terminal block for all of this side and the power side, and we're going to start. We've already got most of this now wired. I'm going to take a look at my pictures to remind myself how the engine is all wired up. And then after that, we'll start reconnecting all of this stuff to the right lengths and terminate into the terminal blocks and get that all situated as well. So we have quite a bit to do. So let's get to work, guys. All right, guys, I figured I'd come back here really quick. As you can see, there's something missing right here. I made a $400 mistake here. I was redoing my wiring, of course, which this is all much better now. Strain relieved, and it's got a little bit of a loop there. I'll have to trim that. And then it comes down, connects back to my wire in here, which I may use some Adele clamps to hold this up instead. Clamp it around that and then clamp it around the hose instead of the zip ties. And then we'll bring these over this way. Again, maybe do a zip tie hose holder thingy along here. And then, of course, these up here, do the same thing, because that's for my heater. And then this is my power now going to the starter. A little bit longer, so that's good, so I can trim it to what I need. However, I broke my starter. And I'll show you what I did. It was something stupid. Basically, I was tightening it down and apparently over tightened and broke the brush holder attachment where the terminal is. So I called around and found Honda has it. So won't be in for a little bit though, and they need to order it. So yeah. So there's that. But I'm going to keep all the rest of these parts though, because all of this is still good. So it's just this piece. So we'll leave these to the side and might be able to. I know I've seen a couple places that sell this piece on eBay, but I'm not sure about it, especially for in my airplane. So I just ordered the whole, starter. But I may, for an emergency setup, I may order this piece from eBay because I think they had it for like 30, 40 bucks, something like that. And I can rebuild this and have it on hand in case an emergency, but not my primary, if that makes sense. So, yeah, shit happens. What are you gonna do? Okay, but anyways, back to what we're working on. So I got the wires all run again, and we'll connect. We'll also run the wire for the alternator to go through the starter terminal. But I was thinking about running a 6-gauge wire from here and run it up to that instead of going to the starter. I don't know if there was a reason for Jan doing it other than just a shorter distance. But I can just run it up to that, and I might just go ahead and do that. But yeah, we'll see. But I do need to get all this buttoned up, and that's going to be part of the cleaning process. But at least we have a nice long lead now, and I'll be able to strain relief that a little bit. Maybe do something like this, another service loop go into that, so that way it's not tight. So we'll work on that another time. All right, guys, so welcome back, and we're at the end of the day here. It's getting late, and it's getting a little chilly now. So we've actually gotten quite a bit done. So we've gotten more wires routed nicely over here. We're still working on the engine terminal block here. I got to remember all of the wires. I'm pretty sure this is the tack, and then I got to remember how it all goes through. I got the schematic here from Jan that came with the engine, and we're going to go through this. I'm going to take this home and review it one more time, and also watch his installation video just to remind me of everything, because we have the starter relay here. And I have that goes to the starter, but I don't remember if it went to the terminal block or can't remember. And then we have the 12-volt in, so that's and then that goes to the key S port. But this one I believe also went to the key on the other side. So I got to remember how that all works out. Again, I got to remind myself on that one. But we'll get that all figured out again and get that wired properly. But basically, all of the engine sensors are wired up. So the EIS is completely wired up to these terminals. I do have the sensors from the wing. That would be the left and right header tank. And I believe the other one is the outside air temperature. So the last 3 sensors, and those all come from the wing. They're all right here. So I just need to figure out how I want to route them. And what I'm thinking about doing is something similar to what I did over here. I put a bigger Adele clamp there, and I'll put a bigger clamp here as well, so I can fish these wires all through here as well, and then have them come up, either some of them coming up here to connect. And then I do have some more of these terminal blocks. I got another one over here still, but I have another one coming, a few more coming, and I don't know where I'm going to put them yet. We'll have to see if I need them or not. I may just go ahead and connect the EFIS connections. The serial port I can connect over here for the transmit and receive coming from the EIS to this. And then we still have ports over there that I can run from the Garmin and from the autopilot into this as well. So I think we're good. So we're going to continue working on this next week, guys. But much better thought laid out here. I need to get a bigger clamp here as well. It's getting a little tight with these cables, but it does keep them nicely strain relieved by using these. Same with over there. I may use that big one over here, and then use the smaller one over there, but we'll see how that works out. I got another one that will fit right there, and then we'll line them along this area right here as well. So Getting there, guys. As soon as this all is done and everything is up and running again, we'll be able to turn our attention to the rigging of the wires, get all that straightened out and get that done, so we can get the elevator set up and working properly along with the rudder, and make sure those cables are now run. We got to finish up rerouting those, the headset connectors, and finish the switches. But at least with the switches, I've made things a little bit easier for myself by swapping out the switches. I now have all of them are blade connectors, which these are from aircraft spruce, so they are aircraft grade. This will make things much easier to connect. I won't have to reach around in there and mess with the wires. My Hobbs meter is going to go to the alternator field, so when the alternator field is on, that will turn on my Hobbs meter, and we'll get all that taken care of. That switch is going to come out. That's my 30 amp. I'm going to remove that. That's going to turn into a standard 12 volt switch like the rest of them there, and that's going to be my avionics switch still, but that avionics switch is now going to connect to the another contactor up here, and that's going to be my main avionics contactor right here, and then we have the main batteries over here. So we'll continue to work on this next week. I'm going to cover everything up, get things all prepped for the week. I got a lot of work to do at work, so I won't be back out here until probably Saturday, Sunday. I'm going to start coming back out again on Saturday, Sundays. Try to get as much done I can over the weekends, and then so that we can get this the avionics bay behind the panel completed. I do have to run another power wire from in here and up to a light back there, and I've actually been thinking about just leaving it as mounting it on that back wall, maybe shining forward. I don't know, we'll see. I'm not sure how that'll work, but that light has a red and a white light, and I got to figure out how I want to do it. Because of the sunroof, they can't really put it up there, so I'll figure something out with that. That there might work perfectly, because then I can have it shining forward, and then just leave it on red for night, or I can turn it on the white. I don't know that there is a switch on that, but I may run it to a separate switch as well. And as we mentioned, I gotta wait for my new starter to come in. I messed that one up. That is completely my fault, no one else's. I made a mistake, and I torqued down a little bit too hard and snapped all that plastic like I showed you in the previous. But with that being said, I do have everything all routed. I am gonna take this all apart again right here, so I can get my current sensor mounted on that cable here, and I'll probably end up wrapping that with some tape. I have some high temperature tape just to hold it in place, and that should give me my current, and then that's also routed back and through, and I'll just we'll get these zip tied and cleaned up, and that should look nice. All right, but other than that, guys, that's where we are. Getting there, guys. I'm working, and I'm getting stuff done. All right, guys, so like I said, that's it for the wrap. That's a wrap for today and this week. We'll be back out here next week, continuing on that wiring. As much as I hate it, I'm happy with how it's coming out. It's looking much better. It's a little bit more organized, and everything is labeled, which is great, and it's going to make things a lot easier to work on down the road if I ever have to pull anything apart. So without further ado, guys, keep building, keep flying, and I'll catch you on the next video. Bye now.